friends, welcome back to another edition of Let's Get Cereal, where I, your host, Alyssa Marino, eat cereal and talk for your viewing pleasure. Today, I have a very special guest. The based there was, the based there is, the based there ever will be, the Killer Bae herself, Heather Monroe.
Yay! Applause, applause.
How the heck are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Hey, half the battle, you know? If I read this quote, if all you did today was survive, you're doing great.
I'm doing great then. So far.
I feel you. I know this is a Saturday afternoon. We're gonna pretend it's a Saturday morning, and we are gonna treat it like you should any proper Saturday morning. We're gonna do it with cereal. Eggos Cereal!
Yes.
Let's tear in. Ooh.
That smells good. You don't want to put the milk in first?
Bite your tongue, Heather. Stop that. Heather Monroe, my friends, let's get cereal.
That's way lighter than I was expecting it to be.
The texture almost kind of like falls apart a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting it to be like Captain Crunch, where it like rips your entire mouth apart.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have nearly as much maple flavor. The smell led us to believe.
I'm pretty happy so far. I'm curious to see how this develops as we go. I just wanted to notice that we are double breakfasting, because not only are we eating cereal, but the cereal is modeled after waffles, which are a typical breakfast food item. So we're getting double duty on the breakfast.
Did you eat Eggos as a kid?
This is weird, and this is very much an unpopular opinion. I prefer pancakes to waffles. The format I prefer, they're able to stack up more. I don't know. What about you?
I think I would say the same thing, but I think that's more because my dad would make us pancakes all the time, and we never really got waffles.
I mean, as far as Saturday mornings, when you were a kid, when you were growing up, what did a normal Saturday morning look like? Either from like the breakfast selection, or what cartoons or shows were you watching?
Probably Dexter's Laboratory. That was like one of my go-tos. I didn't really watch a lot of Looney Tunes. I watched a lot more Cartoon Network stuff. So like Dexter's Laboratory, Ed, Edd n Eddy, like that type of stuff.
Like Courage the Cowardly Dog era?
Yes, like that kind of era of stuff. Although Courage the Cowardly Dog scared me. But Cat Dog didn't. I don't know why. But I think it was the lady in Courage was scary to me.
It was the old grandma? It was like a grandma and grandpa, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the entire concept of Cat Dog is a little bit bothersome, but you know.
Where do they go to the bathroom?
Where do they go to the bathroom? These are the prying questions. I was a big Angry Beavers fan, and Rocko's Modern Life were, I think, two of like my big ones that I like. Rocko had a lot of more adult undertones that I don't think any of us realized. I think that's to be said for a lot of cartoons.
Yes. Rewatching some stuff, I'm like, why did we laugh at that? We didn't get it, but our parents did.
Gotta have something for everyone.
But like in terms of like food and stuff, I think Sundays were the day when we would get like a special breakfast.
And was it usually pancakes?
My dad would make pancakes for dinner. So whenever he was in charge of dinner, because my mom was going to school, she was back in college when I was growing up. So she would do night classes. So a lot of the times she would not be able to make us dinner, or it'd just be pasta. So my dad would make pancakes and eggs for dinner.
Breakfast, I think, at any time of day is just fun, especially when it's not at actual breakfast time. We're kind of diving in a little bit to baby Heather. What were you like as a kid?
I feel like I'm weird now, but I think I was a very weird kid. I was just like super like off the wall, you know, like just a lot of energy. I loved those like kind of weirder shows. And I think I had a very silly sense of humor. I always tried to be like sporty too with my dad, because he was a football coach. And so I'd go and do a lot of stuff with him, like go sit and watch the practices and like that kind of stuff.
It's almost the theatrics of, you know, acting and drama and theater and energy mixed with the idea of sports. kind of sounds a lot like wrestling. As far as wrestling is concerned, you debuted out of Santino's 2015. What do you remember about your first match? How were you feeling beforehand? What was the experience like?
I actually posted it on Twitter the other day because Santino's posted it. And I watched some of it and I was just like, it wasn't bad. Like, really, it wasn't bad.
Right.
Because, so me and Guy Cool, who was my training mate, we went through training all together. And so we debuted as a tag team, which originally our plan was to be brother and sister tag team. Like, that was originally the plan. I was going to have a completely different name. He was going to have a completely different name. It was going to be Heather and Preston Price. So that was originally, and that was just us. Like, that wasn't Joey and Robbie and any of them. That was like, wouldn't it be fun if we did this?
What was the attitude of Heather and Preston? What was that? What was the vibe of them?
I carried the attitude. So what I do is like still what I would have been doing, but obviously, and I think actually Guy Cole probably would have done about the same thing. It's just like spoiled rich kids. That was like the gimmick. So like he's on a boat all the time, like on his yacht and partying with all these girls, which is like totally that too, but we just didn't stay together, I guess. So it was against the study buddies, Darwin Finch and Chaz Herrera. Darwin's a great person to have your first match with because he really wants you to succeed. And so he was really, really helpful with me and Guy getting everything together. But we were super stressed the day of, obviously, for like numerous reasons, but also because we didn't know Chaz as well. He came around the dojo, but he wasn't like in classes as often as all of us. He did more like lucha classes. We knew him, but not like as well as we felt like we knew Darwin. So that was just kind of a different dynamic to come in with. The thing that I remember the most is how long I wasn't in the ring for. If you watch it on YouTube, I think you have to skip forward 6 minutes in before I actually get in the ring.
I think sometimes when you're in the moment, you feel like time is either very slow or very fast. So actually to go back and see like, no, it was like a legit 6 minutes. I wonder how long it must have felt in that moment. Did it feel like, oh no, it's been 12 seconds, or did it feel like half an hour had gone by?
It felt like a really long time had gone by. I'm like, we didn't know what we were doing. Like, and we ended up going way over time and we got in trouble for that. But
all a learning experience.
Yes, and all learning experience. Right after that, we were like pre-show and we went like 15 minutes.
But what was the feeling of like, gosh, going back and watching that?
I actually still do like my double stomp in the corner. Mm-hmm. I did that from the day I debuted. I was doing that in training. So that's one thing that I was like, oh, I still do that. The like cartwheel butt thing, I still do that. But it did make me be like, oh, hey, I should do that again. Or like, I was actually really happy with my first match. Like overall, like I think things could have been tighter, obviously, but like how it was structured and like how I felt about it still feels the same to me watching it back. Like I felt like for what it was, I felt good about it.
Everything that's going on, obviously, with the state of the world, a lot of people might have been picking up some momentum. I know that you definitely were picking up a lot of momentum. So what advice would you share for people that were maybe getting ready to debut right before everything shut down?
Keep up your cardio and try and study as much as possible to watch matches and watch your matches because I know Santino's does all the training matches and they film everything. So that's all out for them to watch. And if other people have had the opportunity to have their training matches or like any training recorded, go back and try and watch yourself. And just keep up to date with how everybody's doing stuff now, like watching old tape and that kind of stuff, just to keep your brain moving and stay creative with it.
I'm curious to know, what were maybe some of the non-wrestling influences that made Heather Monroe Heather Monroe?
Definitely like stuff like The Simple Life.
Oh, like with Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton?
Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton. So the movie Just Friends, Anna Faris's character, 110%. But I would just say in general, a lot of Anna Faris's characters, Anna Faris, I guess, in general, people that think very highly of themselves and like have a high status, but don't take themselves too seriously, like Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton doing The Simple Life. They're like doing it to make fun of themselves. Right. And they know that they look stupid, but they're like fine with it. Or at least Nicole Richie, that's always how I saw her.
I think people like that can poke fun at themselves and can have a laugh at their own expense. I think that's kind of a beauty of anything in entertainment.
And wrestling. It's like, it's silly. Wrestling's silly.
It really is, but we love it. It's what's so lovable about it.
No.
Shortly after making your debut with Santino Brothers, you actually had the opportunity to become a world-traveled performer. You toured Europe with the band Pussifer. You've competed across the United States. You were part of the historic broadcast in Wenzhou, China. So, over the course of all of your travels, what place stands out to you as having the most memorable food?
Okay, I'll give you two because I can't choose. Because one's also obvious and the other one's not. So, France, we were like in Paris too. Like, literally our hotel, we walk out and the Arc de Triomphe is right there. So we were like in Paris. So we were eating some good food when we were there. And great wine. Oh my gosh, so good, of course. And then my other one that's like, I don't know if people would expect is Denmark. Denmark had some really good food.
Can you remember like a certain dish that you had that like really blew you away?
They had these like toasts that they would just stack a bunch of stuff on the toasts. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but I made it all the time when I came home. It was like some like amazing, yummy jam that I can't remember the name of. It wasn't like a jam I'd ever heard of before. And then like goat's cheese and like arugula and like tomatoes. It was like they would build, and there was a bunch of those. So like you get 3 different ones and eat them, and they were like heavenly. Like I kept trying to recreate it when I got home, but
this means you're just gonna have to go back to Denmark at some point.
Hopefully. I would too. Denmark is a really lovely place.
You were making some incredible strides professionally before all of this happened. So over the past few months, what does self-care look like for you, whether it be physically, mentally?
It started off rough. My self-care included a lot of this wine.
Yep.
Which I think it still does a little bit, but I've started to find a routine that I think really helps. For me, it feels amazing when I wake up and make my bed. And I wasn't doing that for a while because, and I did before all of this. Once I started doing it again, it was kind of like, okay. And I wake up, I do that, I put on workout clothes, so I make myself work out, and then I do my Spanish lesson on Duolingo. That's
Picked up new skills.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like having a routine, I think, has become my version of self-care now, because I am such a busy go person. And so like when I had to sit still for too long, I was going crazy. So now when I have like more of a structure, I think that's helped a lot.
You're talking about picking up a new skill, learning some Spanish. Are there any maybe activities that you've rediscovered over this?
Video games. I can't stop. Every year for Christmas, or like whenever a new console would come out, that's what I would get for Christmas. I have almost every console, at least one version of the newest console. So I have a PS2, PS3, PS4, and an Xbox 360. And then I had like a Super Nintendo and a N64. I like used to game a lot when I was younger.
I did not know this about you, that you were such an avid gamer.
I think genuinely I forgot that I used to do that all the time, because it was a while ago. Like I got a PS4, and it wasn't that long ago that I would have gotten that. I say that and everyone's gonna be like, oh, it's not this year. I don't know. But
time doesn't matter anymore, everybody.
Yeah, time doesn't matter. So I played Kingdom Hearts 3, which was one that I'd played like the original Kingdom Hearts on PS2 when it came out. So I was like, that was fun to like kind of see that again. And it's like Disney stuff. So it's really fun. And then I played Red Dead Redemption 2, which was really fun. And there's so much to do in that game. I like completed it, and then I went back and started playing it again because there's just so much to do.
It's all like side missions, and it's kind of open world, right?
It's open world, yeah. So you can literally do whatever you want and like leisurely do the like main story. But I loved the main story so much that I was like jetted through it. And now I'm just playing side missions. But I started playing Spider-Man, and I'm almost done with that now. I remember, and it's happening now, that when I was playing video games a lot as a kid, I would just stay up till it was 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning And then I'd like literally like, oh, okay, gotta go to school now. Like I would run on no sleep constantly. And that's like, luckily I don't have to wake up at any time really. I'm playing sometimes until like 6 in the morning, and then I'm like, the sun's coming up, better go to bed now. That's why I think that's why I stopped playing, or like why I never did it, because I was like, if I get started.
Well, here's to wishful thinking that, we'll stay hopeful that things will return to some semblance of normal, or a new normal, or whatever it's going to look like. Who the hell knows? As far as it comes to wishful thinking and fantasy booking, who are some opponents that you are looking forward to getting in the ring with once pro wrestling returns?
This is such a hard question to answer, because like I just want to wrestle a bunch of people. Like I want to get opportunities to wrestle new people a lot. And I really want to get back to me and Lacey Ryan for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. We're doing a best out of 7 series. And I really wanted to see that through, because I really like working with Lacey, and I think we have already had some really fun matches. And it was new matches, because it was stipulations every time. So it was matches I've never got the opportunity to do either, like match types. I just want to wrestle new people, get new experiences.
When travel can resume, any dream destination you want to compete in that you maybe never have before?
I really want to do more on the East Coast. Like work for Beyond or work for like Defy, to those places. I think just the crowds in general seem like it would just be a fun experience.
We are looking forward to some brighter days ahead, and I know that you've been keeping busy, whether it be video games or learning Spanish or staying up to all hours of the night, but you have also been working hard on the Patreon. So if you don't mind sharing where people can subscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah, if you go to patreon.com/Heather Monroe, you can subscribe. It's only $5.
Only $5. I love it. What a bargain. Where can people find you on social media?
Heather is me, all one word, on Twitter and Instagram.
Any other words of advice that you want to leave the Let's Get Cereal viewers with during these times?
It's okay to feel how you're feeling. That's all I'll say.
It is okay.
No matter how you're feeling, it's okay.
I love it. The good, the bad, the in-between. From the base there was, the base there is, the base there ever will be, the Killer Bae, Heather Monroe. Thank you for getting cereal with me today.
Thank you. It was delicious.
We'll see you later.